In a world where royal scandals often dominate headlines, the latest feud between Prince Harry and biographer Andrew Lownie has taken center stage. With explosive allegations and a battle for public perception, this saga reveals the complexities of royal life and the consequences of a tarnished image. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's legal team has recently reached out to the Daily Mail regarding the republishing of allegations from Andrew Lownie's new book, It's So Funny. The book paints a vivid picture of Harry and his cousin, Prince Andrew, as the family's black sheep, stirring curiosity about their relationship dynamics. Historically, there have been few insights into how these two royals interact, making this revelation all the more intriguing. Harry's reaction to the book's claims has been anything but subdued. Sources close to the couple describe his anger as red-faced and fists clenched, a stark contrast to the calm demeanor his PR team typically prefers to project. The catalyst for this fury: Lownie's refusal to retract explosive claims that have left even seasoned palace insiders shocked. Among these allegations are assertions that Harry failed to conduct proper due diligence on Meghan's background and predictions that their relationship would last no more than a month. In a swift response, Harry and Meghan vehemently denied these claims, asserting that no such conversations ever took place. However, the nature of the allegations aligns with Lownie's reputation for being a headline grabber. Known for his vivid storytelling, the book recounts a heated physical confrontation between Harry and another senior royal during a time of significant family tension, escalating from verbal disputes to shoving and raised voices, prompting staff to leave the room. If readers thought Harry's memoir, Spare, was his final word on royal family conflicts, they were mistaken. Lownie's account flips the narrative, presenting Harry in a light that many critics have long suggested, as a hot-headed, entitled prince. Behind the scenes, Harry's initial instinct was to retaliate aggressively. Within hours, lawyers were consulted, and demands for retraction were drafted and redrafted, each iteration more forceful than the last. Terms like defamatory, reckless, and wholly untrue were thrown around. But Lownie stood his ground, refusing to back down. This refusal only fueled Harry's anger further. The couple's Montecito mansion transformed into a war room, with advisors, PR specialists, and legal minds gathered around the dining table, strategizing their next move. Meghan, known for her strategic thinking, urged caution, but Harry was in no mood for restraint. He wanted to fight back, and the irony of the situation was palpable. The prince, who has built his public persona on the narrative of being a truth-teller, now found himself attempting to silence another's version of events, as the British press reveled in the unfolding drama. Lownie's book quickly became a bestseller, with the chapter detailing the alleged fight being widely excerpted. The more Harry protested, the more attention the story garnered, creating a classic Streisand effect. The palace, meanwhile, maintained its silence, allowing the storm to swirl around Harry, while they continued their royal duties, unbotted. This non-response tactic has reportedly driven Harry to frustration. Without the palace's engagement, he couldn't position himself as the brave whistleblower challenging the system. Instead, he appeared to be embroiled in a public spat with an author who, inconveniently for him, is viewed as credible. The book doesn't merely stop at the fight. It paints a broader, unflattering picture of Harry's temperament, describing him as quick to anger and difficult to manage, an image that contradicts his carefully crafted persona as a compassionate, mental health advocate. Insiders suggest that Netflix executives, who have ongoing projects with the Sussexes, are watching the situation with concern. Streaming platforms thrive on scandal, but they also seek marketable heroes. If Harry's public image shifts from that of a wronged prince to a royal loose cannon, it could jeopardize future deals. Meghan, aware of the stakes, is reportedly advising Harry to pivot the narrative, using the controversy to discuss toxic media culture and misrepresentation in publishing. However, Lownie's status as a respected historian complicates this strategy, as attempting to dismiss him as a tabloid hack could backfire. As the book continues to fly off the shelves, with retailers reporting sellouts, the public conversation around the fight story has become inescapable. A recent survey indicated a significant drop in public trust regarding Harry's account of events since the release of Spare. Too many of his truth bombs have been contradicted by insiders or quietly retracted by the Sussexes themselves, creating a credibility gap that makes Lownie's refusal to retract all the more damaging. Even if Harry manages to prove that the fight never occurred, the damage to his image is already done. The public now has a vivid mental picture of him as a red-faced, yelling prince, a stark contrast to the carefully curated image he has worked to build over the past 5 years. Instead of issuing a calm denial and allowing the news cycle to move on, Harry doubled down. Within 48 hours of Lownie's media appearances, his legal team sent an unusually aggressive letter to the author's publisher, demanding not only a retraction, but also a public apology and a promise never to repeat the claims. The letter threatened immediate legal action in multiple jurisdictions if their demands were not met. Lownie's response was a polite but firm refusal, accompanied by a subtle jab. He stood by his work, which is based on multiple credible sources. This statement was a nightmare for Harry, signaling that Lownie was prepared to defend his claims in court. As whispers from Montecito suggest, this moment pushed Harry from anger to obsession. Staff were pulled into late-night meetings, and, while Meghan, a master of strategic withdrawal, advised against pursuing the matter, Harry was resolute. The fight story had become a matter of principle for him, in a revealing detail. Sources indicate that Harry began reaching out to old friends and palace acquaintances, trying to remind them of how events had unfolded. However, many of these individuals had already spoken to Lownie, and others were unwilling to get involved. One former aide reportedly told Harry, "I'm not putting myself in the middle of this. You're on your own." This isolation poses a significant danger for Harry. By stepping away from royal life, he also distanced himself from a network of loyal courtiers and media fixers who could have helped manage the narrative. Instead, he now finds himself surrounded by Hollywood agents and American PR specialists who may not fully grasp the intricacies of the British press. Every move Harry makes seems to give the Lownie story more oxygen. For instance, when he addressed the allegations in an off-the-record chat with a friendly U.S. journalist, details from that conversation quickly made their way to gossip blogs, complete with paraphrased quotes about vindictive old men writing fiction for profit. While this dig may have felt satisfying in the moment, it only reinforced the perception of Harry as petulant and thin-skinned. Lownie, on the other hand, has become a sought-after figure, appearing on major UK morning shows, with hosts frequently asking if Harry's team has reached out again. The author has inadvertently transformed into a national treasure, thanks to Harry's outrage. The fight story has even crossed the Atlantic, becoming fodder for late-night monologues in the US, Australia, and Canada, with comedians capitalizing on the absurdity of the situation. The palace, meanwhile, is likely enjoying the spectacle. They know that Harry cannot win this battle neither in court, nor in the court of public opinion. The more aggressively he attempts to rewrite the narrative, the more he validates it. A former royal press secretary bluntly stated that in public life, if one starts shouting about not doing something, most people will assume they did. The palace understands this dynamic, while Harry seems to struggle with it, as Meghan remains publicly silent. She privately expresses frustration over the story's escalation. In Montecito, brand value is paramount, and every headline that portrays Harry as erratic chips away at the carefully crafted image they have cultivated. With their Netflix contract already under scrutiny, another PR fiasco is the last thing they need. The timing of this saga couldn't be worse for the Netflix is reportedly reviewing its future projects with them, with executives divided on whether the couple remains bankable. One camp believes in their potential, while the other worries that constant controversy is alienating viewers. Lownie's book, with its unflattering portrayal of Harry, represents a narrative that Netflix cannot control, and therefore, it is a source of concern. Just when it seemed the storm might pass, new excerpts from an upcoming paperback edition of Lownie's book emerged, revealing more about the alleged fight. This time, the detail that ignited social media was a crude insult Harry allegedly used during the altercation. The reaction was swift and brutal, with Twitter, now X, flooded with memes, parody videos, and reenactments. TikTok creators began staging mock palace fight scenes, and the hashtag Royal Rumble trended by nightfall in attempting to suppress the fight story. Harry has inadvertently ensured that it will follow him indefinitely. It has transcended being merely a claim in a history book. It has become a pop culture joke, a meme template, and a shorthand for Harry's temper. If he believed that Andrew Lownie would fold under legal threats, he has learned a pub.